A living letter to my sister, Laura. Thank God there's only one of you. Genuinely, I don't think the world could handle another one of us. Watching Chloe yank the absolute shit out of Colt's hair the other day, they really got me overthinking about siblings, about childhood, about sisters, about us, about how much time we have left together, about how I haven't even met the love of your life yet, which is so fucking cool if you actually think about it. Everybody talks about getting older like you're losing something. But when I think about us, our relationship has only gotten better with age. Kind of like something else we enjoy. I don't feel like we've already lived our lives. I feel like I'm still waiting to watch the best years of our lives happen together. We're 4 years apart. Apparently that was strategic if you ask Mom and Dad. But 4 years is a long time when you're young. When you're deciding what prom dress to wear, I was studying middle school math off of a projector screen. When you were sitting in a sorority house, I was getting braces. Older siblings have to do a lot. They're first. They don't get a choice in the matter. But they do get a choice to pick what kind of path they pave. And shit, you'd never known mine was only 4 years old because it was glistening. We lived in the same exact house, shared the same bathroom, had the same exact parents, played the same fucking sport. And somehow, we still ended up with completely different lives. It's always fascinated me. How you've always known my next move. I remember us fighting when we were younger. Specifically, I remember trying to kick the absolute shit out of you. I was so pissed. But that's the funny thing about siblings. You never remember what the fight was about. You remember how it made you feel. You remember the takeaway. My takeaway was that I tried to kick you as hard as I possibly could, and I didn't have a fucking chance. You caught my leg, and my ass fell on the hardwood floor outside your bedroom door. And I remember thinking, she knew something I didn't know. You knew what I was going to do before I did it. You knew my next move. I don't know if I've ever actually said that out loud before. But that was the first time I realized you could read me. You knew me when I was 11 years old trying to kick the shit out of you. And you knew me decades later when I was sitting in the parking lot of the biggest company in the world, having an absolute mental breakdown because I couldn't make myself walk through the doors. That was probably the first time I ever reached out when I was genuinely in need. And you asked me, how did your toe feel? And I remember being so fucking annoyed because I'm sobbing in a parking lot and she's asking me about my toe. So I answered her and then I wasn't crying anymore. Damn, I needed that. I needed you. I still do. You can look at the adult version of me and still see the 11-year-old little girl trying to kick the shit out of you. And somehow, love me anyways. I still need you. Whether it was bringing me home Heinen's desserts after my middle school boyfriend dumped me, or taking me to Napa Valley for my 30th birthday, where I had the most magical trip of my life. I came home from that trip, and after 2 miscarriages, I had Chloe. Now, scientifically, I'm not saying Napa Valley got me pregnant. Spiritually, mind your business. Funny enough, ever since that parking lot, every time life falls apart, I ask myself about my toe. And somehow it slows me down. There's some shit only sisters can fix. And I mean that fucking heartedly. That's the whole thing, Laura. You've always been my sound, my ground. When I'm spiraling, somehow you know exactly what question to ask, exactly what to say, or honestly, what not to say at all. And I think about what a badass bitch you are. Girl literally came home from Paris, flipped her suitcase in 24 hours, went to Punta Cana. How you can close $1 million in ad sales, but somehow still can't keep your room clean. And everyone always asks, where's Laura? Out and about, gallivanting, living. Because you do what you want. You do as you please. You get what you want, but more importantly, you understand what it takes to get there. And then you do it. You've never sat around waiting for permission. You just decide. You just go. You are the reason I do not settle. You are the reason I go for more. Everyone says comparison is the thief of joy, maybe, but every once in a while, comparison is the thing that reminds you of what's possible. Because sometimes when I compare myself to you, I'm like, yeah, bitch, step the fuck up. Because something I've always admired about you isn't that you've always had it figured out. That you're willing to leave if it's broken. You're willing to fix it if it's broken. You have absolutely not had it all figured out. It took heartbreak. It took building the life you thought you wanted and realizing you needed more. It took a lot of champagne and sushi. It took looking in the mirror and admitting this isn't it. You went to therapy, you learned how to grieve, you learned how to regulate, and then without even realizing it, you handed it to me in a parking lot after I lost a baby. You made it okay not to be okay. You did the hard work first. You paved the glistening way. And because you did, I got a front row seat. I got to watch it. I got to learn from it. You gave me permission to do it too. I don't know if you remember this, but I was going back to work after having Colton. And I was trying to figure out how the hell to be a mom and a manager at the same time. We were sitting in the Starbucks drive-thru. Colton was crying. I was getting overstimulated. And I remember saying, I just don't have any patience. And you looked at me and said, but you do. You have hundreds of employees at work that you listen to their problems all day long. It just needs to be the other way around. And I remember thinking, I don't get paid to be a parent. Then I just sat there because, oh my God, that's exactly what she meant. How fucked up is my thinking? God, Laura, you challenge me in a way that's so selfishly good for me. It's sick. Even when you come off as a bitch, it's because you can see something I can't. You can see I'm not getting what I want, and you won't let me accept that. Not on Laura's watch. You have this annoying ability to see my next move before I do. Every single time, you're right. That's what you've been doing my whole life. Not telling me who to become. It's reminding me of who the fuck I already am. And quietly setting the standard I wouldn't set for myself. The thing about always knowing someone's next move, that eventually they're gonna throw a new one at you that you could not have seen coming. That was this last year, Laura. Man, it was cruel. The hardest year our family has ever lived through. But somehow 3 generations ended up back sitting at the same dinner table every Sunday. Laura, we haven't lived in the same city since we were kids. And then life had other plans. You didn't come home because everything worked out. Your circumstances brought you home. And somewhere along the way, we finally realized why. When Colton got sick, you bought our family a hotel room for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So we didn't have to spend a single fucking minute away from our 3-year-old fighting for his life, your nephew. So his mom could take a bath, so his dad could get 1 good night's sleep. Who does that? You do. Nobody asked you to, but you saw the next move. Same way you always have. And at that same time, Laura, your own world had been turned upside down. The life you thought you were building disappeared. And somehow you didn't even get to stop and grieve that, because ours needed you first. And then Mom got the diagnosis, and then as the badass bitch she is that raised us, beat that shit. So we celebrated. We went to Vegas. We went to Maui, a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Fuck that. I'm going back to Maui. Even while you were trying to figure out your own life, you never stopped showing up for everyone else's. Laura, you spent the last 365 days filling everyone else's cup. We're still gathering all the takeaways. We're still healing. But that phase is over. God, did we need you. But we don't. Not anymore. And I don't mean it sadly, and I don't mean it harshly. I mean it as the biggest fucking compliment that I could ever give you. Just so we're clear, I will always need you. But not right now. Not here in Cleveland. We're in build mode, baby. And we're right in the thick of it. So here's my shot at my 3rd living letter. Laura, here's our permission. Not that you need it, or that you would have asked for it anyways. But I think you've earned hearing it. Go. Go find out who the fuck you are again. Travel, learn, heal, grieve. Keep the 5-star spas in business. Someone has to do it. Fall in love. Move to Paris. Move to Chicago. Have children if you fucking want them or not. Build a life that is so fucking you that the universe has to hand you everything you were ever meant to get. Because that's the funny thing. You've always known my next move. You knew it when I was 11 years old trying to kick the shit out of you. You knew it in a parking lot when I couldn't even get out of the car. You knew it in a Starbucks drive-thru with a screaming baby in the back seat. And for the first time in 32 years, we don't know what yours is. Honestly, I think that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Because I trust you. I trust that if life hands you something fucking incredible, you will run towards it. And if it hands you something hard, you'll learn from it. And you'll take that feedback and do it again even better the next time. Because that's what you've always done. You don't settle. You never have. Here's to normalizing living letters. Tell people what they mean to you while they are standing next to you, because by the time you're writing the obituary, it is far too late. Here's to your next move. Here's to the life I haven't even got to watch you live yet. Here's to filling your own cup. And if it happens to be a champagne glass, shit, even better. Cheers, sis.
You should see me in a crown tonight, standing tall.